That's how Tuchel's first game in charge sounded. He does have Premier League bosses on red alert by saying he won't rest any stars for the game against Latvia tonight. One club and one manager in particular seemed to be targeted by him, given the fact that Declan Rice played in the second leg of their Champions League last 16 tie after winning the first game 7-1. I didn't have the feeling they were thinking about the national team. It would be the wrong message to tell players you have tough club games coming up, so I will rest, Well, I mean, my thought is, the clubs pay their salaries. They've got every right to play them in whichever games they want to.
Yeah, I totally agree, but I'm thinking, if you're the England manager, you think, listen, I've got 15 months to the World Cup. I've not got many training sessions with you, many games. I'm going to play whatever I want. Yeah. If I want to play Declan Rice 90 minutes tomorrow night, I will.
Yeah. Yeah,
deal with it
and totally
tonight,
right.
sorry.
No. What I would like to see, though, I would like to see him experimenting a little bit, shuffling the pack a little bit, just because it's Latvia, who are not very good. We want to see some, alternatives to whatever he thinks is his first choice team.
Yes.
We want to see a few players mix up. Let's hear from you. Should Tuchel be resting players against Latvia? Does club come before country? 03717 223344. Just before we talk England, Marty from South Wales says, hi, love the show. Any chance you can give Wales a mention? So far it's England, Scotland, even Portugal and Denmark being mentioned. Wales, of course, beat Kazakhstan at the weekend.
Outstanding result. Well done, Wales.
Yeah, but in fairness, I tell you what, Craig Bellamy, he has surprised a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people. What a brilliant job he is doing. So well done, Wales.
Yes,
now then, let's get some thoughts, in particular on England, from writer, broadcaster and co-host of the Sunday edition, Henry Winter. Morning, Henry.
Good morning, Henry.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Gabby. How are we?
Mate.
Yeah, very good, thanks, mate. Thomas Tuchel, what do you think he learned from the game against Albania?
Well, he learned he's got some exceptional players. Youngsters like Miles Lewis-Skelly, who look to the manner born at that level at left back. Left back's been a problem for England for a while. And he looks, even though he's probably more sort of 6 or an 8 with Arsenal long term, he was outstanding there. And what I liked was his intelligence and his flexibility. He was a sort of attacking left back in the first half and stepped more into midfield in the second half. Obviously, Jude Bellingham playing in the right position, number 10, getting him in the ball. Obviously, there's going to be an issue when Cole Palmer is fit, but Bellingham is truly world class. Yes. England are fortunate to have him, and you have to play him. So the encouraging signs are that, not encouraging because we knew the quality that he's got to call from. There will always be issues with England's managers, club versus country, as you've rightly been touching on. Injuries. Anthony Gordon got injured. This is all new to Thomas Tuchel. He's never been an international manager before, and it is a different rhythm. It's a different pressure, particularly with England and the weight of expectation.
Do you know what I like though, Henry? Watching the game, I think it was the first 3 minutes, and we got a free kick. Pickford gets the ball, everyone up. No playing from the back and messing around. That's what I liked. Do you know what I mean? And even during the game, get the ball forward to your attacking players. And he was frustrated, wasn't he, at the Fodens and the Rashfords not driving at defenders. That's what I've seen a change of in England.
Yeah, and calling players out. I mean, England was such a sort of, had a lovely feel under Gareth Southgate, but there wasn't enough demanding. Gabby, you played at the top level. I'm sure there were players that you saw around you who weren't doing that extra pressing, weren't making the run back, and you were probably you would call them out. I mean, you look at the German teams, you look at the culture that Tuchel grew up in. They are famous for calling each other out.
Yes.
And they don't take it as an insult.
No.
They take home truths as actually a collective strength to drive each other on and drive the team on. It's why they've got 4 World Cups.
Did you think as well, Henry, that Harry Kane was pressing a lot more than you used to seeing?
Yeah, I think we're possibly comparing him to what we saw during the Euros when he didn't look fully fit. He still finished joint top scorer, but you look at his form for Bayern this season and he looked refreshed. But the intelligent thing to do with Harry Kane is to try and stop him dropping off, even though he can do that, and he played some lovely balls out to Foden, but to keep him higher up the pitch, to keep him above Bellingham, to use Bellingham's brilliance to sort of thread balls through to him, but also to play pace around him. That's what Harry Kane needs as he's going into his 30s. He's obviously Marcus Rashford, his final ball wasn't good enough, but he's producing pace. You'll eventually have Anthony Gordon, I assume, on the left, Bukayo Saka on the right, and that will bring even more out of Harry Kane. But look, he's got 70 goals for England. He's not exactly slowing up.
So look, he says he's going to play his strongest team whenever he possibly can. But Henry, tonight, I mean, this is Latvia. You know, they're not a powerhouse of European football. They lost to Armenia and Lithuania last year. They managed to lose to Gibraltar a few years ago. This is an opportunity to look at other players, isn't it? Who would you like to see given a chance tonight?
Well, Jeff, you're right. They're 140th ranked in the world. They're coming to Wembley. But I think he will make a few changes. You might see sort of Morgan Rogers step in there. But I think, echoing your club versus country debate earlier, I do think, the fact they put Declan Rice up for interview yesterday suggests he'll start. Try telling Harry Kane that he won't start. And Bellingham as well. And obviously he had a completely different tune when he was Chelsea manager. He wasn't so keen to lose his players to international duty. But the clock is ticking. He's only got, after this, 5 more training camps before the World Cup. So he's got to be cracking on. And if that means for the first hour, he will play the familiar faces, the team that he effectively wants to start off in America, then I completely understand that.
I was going to say that, actually, because I'd love tonight, Henry and Jeff, to see Rice, maybe Bellingham and Rogers as 2-8s, Bowen, Solanke, Eze. But he might look at it and say, like you says, we've got 5 more squads to meet up. I'm going to, every game that I get a chance, keep playing the same team, similar team maybe if players are injured, so that they get used to playing the way I want to play and playing with each other.
Yeah, I hope he keeps the same formation, because then it's easier for the players to step in. What was very interesting is I was in the press area, so the press box after the game, when all the sort of the subs had a really full-on intense half-hour 5-a-side. Gibbs White stood out in that, so I'd like to see him. I know he sort of got drafted in late because of Cole Palmer's unfortunate injury, but I would love to see Morgan Gibbs White, because you have to pick players on form. But the general point is England have strength and depth.
Yeah, England have got strength in depth. Will Jordan Henderson, just finally, Henry, will Jordan Henderson have a role to play tonight? And if not, why is he in the squad?
Well, he's in the squad. I agree with you. I was amazed that he was in the squad, but he's in the squad because Tuchel wants leaders. I think it's why Kyle Walker's in there, which I find slightly disrespectful to some of the younger players who are such professionals. Look at Gibbs White. He's a professional on the pitch and off the pitch. He doesn't need a lead. He doesn't need Jordan Henderson to help him across the road or to find the dressing room all the way onto the pitch. He's a respected professional.
Harry Kane's a leader. Pickford's a leader. Yeah. How many do you need?
Declan Rice, Bellingham.
Bellingham's a leader. Yeah. Rashford's played multiple times for England.
Bukayo Saka is a very quiet individual, but he's an absolutely dedicated professional. But it's about leadership, and that's why he's in there. I think, Jeff, to your point, I think we probably will see Jordan Henderson at some point tonight. Again.
Yep.
Okay. Henry, you said that with a sort of air of resignation. Thank you very much.
Is it coming home, Henry?
I tell you what, just quickly, you look at the quality of the other teams last night. Europe will send some good teams out. You look at those 4 semi-finalists. I mean, that France, Germany. Spain. I mean, Spain. There's some exceptional teams out there.
Portugal as well. Got a great squad of players, haven't they?
Ronaldo, 89 minutes at 40, misses a penalty. So look, England are up against it, but they've got an elite manager now.
Henry, thank you very much indeed.
Man, Henry.
Pleasure, have a good week.
You too,
pal.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.